Shared ownership it's open to a variety of people, and it's a really great scheme for people to be able to get onto the property ladder that perhaps have not got that deposit to be able to buy it outright. So I think it is a great scheme that perhaps there's not enough awareness around.
Lynn and I thinking share to buy. Who do we share that with then? Who do they share the property? Does one live upstairs, one down? In our ignorance. And so we learnt, it was the learning exercise for us, and through that we learned about various housing associations, in particular Platform to us stood out.
Shared ownership, I feel, is a great scheme for a number of audiences, right through from first-time buyers through to people that have perhaps sold a property and are moving on to something bigger.
Instead of buying the 100% of that house, you'd buy a percentage of it, dependent on how much you can comfortably afford. You pay rent on the other sides of the other percentage that is still retained by us at Platform. And the idea is, as your financial situation improves, you look at staircasing and buy more percentage of the property, so you ultimately end up owning the house outright.
Our 35% is climbing anyway, and we can always change that. If we get a few pennies, we can always add to it.
You can add right up to the purchase price.
And you could buy it outright if we get lucky.
So the renting goes down once that goes up.
It's the same process with getting a mortgage. Initially, they have to speak to one of our financial advisors and do an affordability assessment. From that affordability assessment, it will set out what share is right for them to purchase. So multiple shares are available to purchase initially, going all the way up to 75%. And it will take into account all their incomings, all their outgoings. It will put it into a calculator and say what is the right amount percentage-wise for them to buy of that property. From that, once they've got that figure, they then go to their mortgage provider, get an agreement to principal for that amount, and then they'd be in a position to proceed with the property.
Much quicker, the move, getting one's answers and getting things any deliberations there were sorted out.
Yeah, they weren't
it was
left
speedy, speedier
Yeah.
than previously with different situations. But that whole journey, we were looked after by people, brilliant people.
Fantastic. You can call the house your home. It is yours.
One of the myths about shared ownership is typically how much your monthly outgoings will be. This will vary depending on the kind of property that you're purchasing and the different locations, but the scaremonger is normally around the fact that the first conversation is going to be, this is how much your mortgage will be, this is how much your rent will be, and people sort of step away at that point and think, oh, hang on a minute, that's 2 payments, it's going to be more expensive. But if you combine those, because you're paying a subsidised rent on the share of the property that you don't own, and you've got the mortgage advisor that will find the best deal for you on the market, hopefully with those two combined, you will be paying less than what you would privately renting for that same property in that same area.
Also, we found it quite cool, really, because in effect, with Platform being the freeholder, therefore become the leaseholder, whether we've had property before, if it's been apartments, flats, it's always been leasehold, and sometimes the leasehold monthly fee can be in the direction of £200 because a gardener was needed for this, the lifts needed attention every so often, but us guys on the ground floor, not needing the lift, still had to pay for that. So the rent isn't that much more the way we've done it for this place than the heavy leasing commitments of a fully paid apartment.
So we deal with a whole range of properties, and when you've got that option, especially with buying off plan, and you could have the flexibility and choosing options to go into your home, and you've got that option of buying X percentage based on your circumstances, there's always going to be a direction that we can say, yes, we can help you. Yes, have you thought about this? Yes, have you looked at this option? And I think it's about being confident that regardless of who you answer the phone to, as long as they fit that criteria for shared ownership, we will be able to help them. There's going to be a route that we can find that works for them.